Now, good morning or afternoon or whenever the hell it is that this video will come out. Now, this video is coming out about 30 minutes, or it's being filmed 30 minutes after Perodua let loose. Now, this video is being filmed about 30 minutes after Perodua let loose a lot of details regarding the second generation Perodua Alza. This comes after a teaser video that came out last week and is accompanied by a short video on YouTube as well as other social media platforms previewing the new 7-seater MPV. Now, we put out an earlier video talking about this car with some of the suggestions and rumors that we've received about the car, and now that we have confirmed details, we can finally share a little bit more with you. So we're going to start first of all with the background, more specifically with the name. Now, previously we suggested that the D27A Alza replacement would arrive with a new name. Now, this is based on Perodua's history of not repeating model names, with the only exception being the Perodua Myvi. Now, Perodua did that with the Myvi because they said that the Myvi nameplate had accrued such value within the market that it only made sense for them to continue the name. Now, it seems that they're doing the same thing with the Alza, which kind of sort of makes sense given the fact that in the last 12 years since it was launched, the Perodua Alza has gathered a bunch of fans around the country and sales have remained healthy all the way toward the end of its life when the final vehicle rolled off the production line in April. So the Alza name is coming back for this new model, making it the second generation Perodua to retain the name. Now, as most of you know already, the Perodua Alza is based on, or rather it was a joint program which was developed together with Toyota and Daihatsu, and Toyota has the Toyota Avanza and the Toyota Avanza Veloz, both of which are available in Indonesia, as well as the Daihatsu Xenia, which is also available in Indonesia. Now, this is the second sort of joint collaboration product with Toyota and Daihatsu, the first of which being the Ativa. Now, this is of course built on the new DNGA, or Daihatsu New Global Architecture platform, which makes the Perodua Alza as well as the Ativa global products, which is why they were developed in conjunction with Toyota and Daihatsu by using Toyota's permanent staff stationed in Japan to collaborate to make this product whole. Now, because of that, obviously these cars do share some exterior parts, but there will be a lot of similarities throughout the vehicle with enough differentiation between the models, of course, to allow them to live harmoniously within a market. Because I mean, it wouldn't make sense for Toyota to sell the Avanza Veloz and the Daihatsu Xenia in Indonesia if these three vehicles were the same, right? And that appears to also be the same case with the Alza, which will be launched here just before the Toyota Veloz, which will replace the Avanza in the local market and allow for a slightly more upmarket positioning. Now, based on all these similarities, the drivetrain is also the same. We get a 1.5-litre dual VVT-i engine, which is naturally aspirated, paired to the latest dual CVT automatic gearbox, or D-CVT automatic. Now, this is the same gearbox that we've seen in the Myvi as well as the Ativa, and we should be able to see this proliferate into further models down the lineup. Now, as a result, this car, this new Alza, is claimed to be able to do 22 kilometers per litre based on the MDC cycle, which is the Malaysian driving cycle, a special sort of consumption cycle developed for the Malaysian market, which is more attuned to our roads. Now, Eco Idle, as well as which is their name for auto start stop, will also be included as standard, which should mean that this car should prove to be very frugal. Now, as part of the sort of small flyer that Perodua has put out with some of the key stats and specs of this new car, we know that the new Alza will come with a first for Perodua, which is an electronic parking brake with auto hold. Now, EPB has two functions, the primary obviously being parking brake, the second, of course, allowing you to stop the vehicle, and the electronic parking brake will automatically engage to hold you in a position. This will help when you're at traffic lights or when you're in traffic jams, allowing you to drive with a little bit less stress. The other thing, of course, is that this car will be very stylish with a chrome and gloss black grille. Now this is something that was actually previously imagined by automotive digital manipulator Theophilus Chin, who showed us the possibility of the new Alza coming with a grille that looked similar to the chrome pins that you get from a Mercedes-Benz. Now at the time we thought that to be a flight of fancy, but it seems that according to Perodua, this is within budget and reason. So this new car will look a little bit more upmarket than we certainly expected, and it will perhaps look even more upmarket than most of its siblings. Now, being an Alza, obviously it is going to be a 7-seater, although arguably it'll be a 5+2 because the 2 last seats have always been a little bit compromised, but this is a vehicle that's about versatility, and so there will be more space in the back for cargo compared to a Perodua Myvi, as well as the option of 2 extra seats should you need them. More importantly though, there will be more space between the wheels, allowing for greater legroom for the second and third row passengers, which should mean that this is a very comfortable car indeed. Now, another Perodua first that will be debuting on the second generation Alza is a 360-degree camera. This, of course, will be parked under the Perodua Smart Drive Assist banner of active safety features to allow for a more convenient driving experience with this new car. Now onto the matter of variants. The new Alza will be offered in 3 variants. It's the way the Ativa was debuted in this country as well, with the X, H and AV being the range topper. Now the base model, I'll have to refer to notes here, will come with LED headlights with follow me home function, electrically adjustable side mirrors with LED turn indicators, although they will be manual folding, fabric seats, digital air conditioning controls up front and manual air conditioning controls in the rear, as well as ASA 3.0, which will include things like autonomous emergency braking with pedestrian and cyclist detection, as well as lane departure warning, lane departure prevention and automatic high beam. There will also be a minimum of 4 airbags and disc brakes all around as well. This is naturally an improvement over the current Alza, which comes with only 2 airbags and only 2 disc brakes up front. Now when you move up to the H model, you will get 3 drive modes, Eco, Normal and Power. You will also get adaptive LED headlights, just like what you get on the Perodua Ativa, allowing you to run with high beam more often without dazzling other road users. And the headlights will also come with sequential turn signals, which everybody likes. There's no real function to them. You'll also get automatically retractable wing mirrors, which means when you lock the car, they should be able to fold. You will get rear armrests. Why this is a feature, I'm not sure. A 7-inch multi-info display between the dials, as well as a 9-inch touchscreen head unit with a reverse camera built in, as well as front parking sensors. Now, the range topper will come with a semi-leather upholstery for the seats, just like what you got in the Ativa. The electronic parking brake that I mentioned earlier, which suggests that the other models will either get a handbrake or a foot brake, just like the previous gen Alza, as well as the 360-degree camera that I mentioned earlier. Now, the advanced model will also get Perodua Smart Drive Assist in full, which means you will get adaptive cruise control, lane keep control, blind spot monitoring, and rear cross traffic alert. The AV will also get 6 airbags, including curtain airbags, which I believe is a first for Perodua, which is very, very impressive. Now, speaking about the adaptive cruise control specifically, now that this car comes with electronic parking brake, we are kind of wondering whether or not this will be a full-speed adaptive cruise control system. Now, when we asked about this feature with the Perodua Ativa, when we were given a preview about a week or 2 before launch, we were told that there was a hardware limitation, being that for low-speed adaptive cruise control, you need a radar module and you cannot rely solely on the camera system. However, we know very, very well that level 2 semi-autonomy systems do not require a radar. This is evidenced with Volvo, as well as Volvo and Geely brands, which no longer use radar systems and just use windscreen mounted cameras. So perhaps now they may be able to retool the PDSA cameras to work with the EPB to now allow for full speed level 2 semi-autonomy. That will most certainly be very, very helpful for drivers going through traffic jams. Now, because it's an MPV, there are 7 seats. The third row will split 50-50, while the second row should be a 60-40 split, just like what we got with the previous gen Alza. Now, boot capacity is claimed to be about 137 litres with all the seats up, but of course when you fold the third row down, you get 498 litres, which means this is most certainly an improvement over the outgoing Alza. Now lastly, we have to talk about prices, which start at 62, or tentatively will start at 62,000 ringgit for the H, and then rise to about 68,000 for the X, and then rise all the way up to 75,000 ringgit for the AV. Now we will note that there is a very big gap between the X and the AV compared to the H and the H and the X. Now, why this is, we're not sure. Perhaps Perodua is expecting people to buy mid-range models and then spec it up, as we know that there will be a gear-up package available for this car at a later date with body kits and God knows what else, which means there may be buyers who will choose to buy mid-spec models and then spec them up versus buying a full-spec model and enjoying all the goodies that that car comes with rather than just having look-at-me bits. But of course, to further customize your car, this car will come with an option of 5 colors, 3 of which are brand new, which is vintage brown, garnet red, and elegant black. Now, garnet red we've seen with the Myvi, and vintage brown is new, which is interesting, but elegant black is actually the one that I'd like to touch on, because if you look at Perodua's entire lineup, you can't buy a black Perodua. Only the Alza will be available in black, which I think is quite fascinating. Now, you also get the option of glittering silver for boring people, and ivory white, which is a solid color for people who really like washing their cars every other day. Now, naturally, because this is a Perodua, this car will come with a 5-year warranty or 150,000 kilometers, whichever comes first, and you should be able to get pretty competitive servicing packages from them as well. Perodua does pride itself on its after-sales service, which means that maintaining your Perodua Alza should not be any more expensive than what you get from, say, a Perodua Myvi with a similar powertrain. Now, according to Perodua President and CEO, Datuk Zainal Abidin Ahmad, who released a statement along with all this information, he said that we took our time in designing this full model change as we truly wanted to understand what improvements our customers wanted, and the new Alza aims to fulfill these requests. One of the many requests was a better driving experience, and to this we have engineered the new Perodua Alza's ground clearance to be at 160 millimeters, which in our assessment is the best height for a pleasant Malaysian drive for an MPV. Now, what driving experience and ride height has to do with each other, I'm not sure, but no doubt we will get a chance to drive this car and we'll be able to tell you if that makes a difference. And ultimately, we are confident that this new Alza will continue the success of the first generation model and continue to win more fans in and around the country. Now, as for the launch date, we still do not yet know when this car will be arriving. What we can tell you with a degree of certainty is that normally Perodua will open the order books about a month ahead of launch. At the shortest, it's been about 2 weeks. So we can therefore expect this car to arrive in about 2, 3 or 4 weeks time, but certainly no longer than that. And as for delivery times, we are made to understand that Perodua has plenty of stock currently available in its stockyard, which means that these cars, the first batch at least, or the first group of people who put down their bookings, should be able to receive their cars within 1 or 2 months. This is the Perodua promise, and currently its other vehicles have a longer waiting time, which they are doing their level best to try and shorten, and so I am confident that at least the first batch should be able to be delivered within that time. Now, talking about the Alza as a whole, we are certainly very excited to see this car because, as Datuk Zainal said, this is certainly a very comprehensive model change for Perodua. What we've seen before with the Myvi, for example, have been incremental changes, at least from the 3rd gen to this 3.5 gen that we've driven recently, and the same goes with the Aruz, where it's been sort of an incremental improvement to what we've seen before. At least now with the new 2nd generation Perodua Alza, we should at least finally see the Alza nameplate live up to Perodua's new standards of offering safety, versatility, technology and competent engineering to a greater number of people. And though the prices have gone up quite significantly, we have very little doubt that this car will continue to remain very popular for Malaysian buyers, and we wonder what Toyota has up their sleeves for the upcoming Avanza Veloz. And that's been our very quick video talking about the second generation Perodua Alza. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell icon so you're notified every time we make a new upload. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. All the links are in the description below, and let us know what you think about the new Perodua Alza. Thank you so much for watching. We will catch you in the next one. Take care, stay safe, and please place your bookings only with certified sales advisors and only into company accounts.